Come here now, girl.
Hello and welcome to WhatMap, your one-stop shop for everything workshop. I'm BonBonB and you're very, very welcome. Well, today, my, have we got a deceptively boring map? And I mean that in a really good way. You see, it's quite a skill to actually build a subtle map. A map which looks like it's been thrown together in 5 minutes, but it's actually had dozens and dozens and dozens of hours spent on it. I can't prove it's had dozens and dozens and dozens of hours spent on it, but my gut instinct is it really has. It's subtle, it's a desert map, it's a really good desert map, and the thing is, really good desert maps are very few and far between on the workshop, so if you're looking for one, today's your day. It is, however, I must say, deceptively boring, so it won't be the most exciting of shows. But first of all, a daily reminder. That's right, clicking that like button really does support the channel, gets me seen by more people and helps me grow a little bit more every single day. Thank you for your support. Today's map is My Delilah Desert by Ede09, possibly EDE09. I'm going with Ede, and if I'm wrong, I'm sorry. There's your start square, got a little hint of rail poking its nose into the left hand side there, which is also a bonus. Then we have terrain heights. It's mostly flat, a little bit undulated throughout, but mostly flat and definitely usable. Then we have resources, fertile land throughout, and mostly usable, I think, actually. And then we have Sunset Harbour. If you've got Sunset Harbour and you want to do some fishing, it looks like this. Off to the workshop. What do we need? Well, it's a mass transit map. You will need mass transit for this one. Also, you'll need network extensions too, a combination of the both. There's a few trees and rocks to subscribe to. Also, we'll be using Theme Mixer 2 to mix in Aus Los Angeles theme, Arrowhead Valley, Stray Cats Territory Homecoming, Seychelles, Springwood, and Aguil there to produce a really nice looking map. Also, you could just use the Nemesis theme as the recommended one if you're not using Theme Mixer. I've gone with Theme Mixer because I've got it. It took me quite some time to set up because there are a lot of themes and I have to search for them through like a list of well over 100, and yeah, so it took me a lot longer than it will probably take you to set up. First bridge, perfect bridge, very subtle. It's not too much to talk about really with that. We'll just keep going. LUTs wise, today we are using the coastal LUT again as recommended by the map creator. So, the map, it's subtle, it's boring. It's boring, okay? I put it in the right way. It's not meant to be an exciting map. It's a desert. Now, I'm not really a desert aficionado, so I can't attest to whether the shrubs and the grasses that I used are the correct shrubs and grasses, but they look right. And like with the gradients on the rail, where true realism, yeah, sure, I understand that. But I also know what you can kind of get away with the game with it before it starts looking silly. You know, if you've got a 45-degree angle on your rail, you kind of know it looks dumb. And somewhere between perfectly level and 45 degrees is a point where you go, yeah, you can kind of see that, can't you? So, yeah, with the shrubs and the plants on today's map, do you know what? I buy them. Now, realists, people that live in those deserts will look and go, nope, you would never find that here. It wouldn't live. Well, yeah, thank you very much. Let me know in the comments. I like reading these things. I might forget them instantly, but I do like reading them. Oh, hello. This is your intersection. We actually have two highways that crisscross in the middle of the map. Here's your intersection that deals with that. It looks very nice indeed. Now, it might look nice. I have a slight technical issue with this. Not something I've really looked into with intersections before, but I'll point this one out. If you've got traffic coming up from the bottom of the screen here, so coming up, and it wants to turn left, so it wants to head off to the left hand side of the screen, it'll go looping around this loop, yep, and then it'll merge in on the highway. Well, we've got some lane mathematics going on, 4 lanes going into 4, which is nice to see. So the traffic coming off the ramp, it can't go into that right hand lane, you have to go into the 3rd lane, because right hand lane is right turn only. However, any traffic coming up from behind us wanting to turn right, will have to cross over, and you're going to get traffic crossing over each other in quite a short area, and it could lead to some tailbacks as traffic is just trying to find its way. General rule of thumb I would suggest is if you're building an intersection from scratch, or just plopping one and making it work for you, you want the off-ramp before the on-ramp, just to get rid of the excess traffic, and then new traffic can move in nice and smoothly. Now, normally I'd say, oh, look at this rail over road, it's so slickly done, it's barely even worth noticing. Look, it's boring, isn't it? It's just boring. Like I say, in a good way. Now, in terms of, is there something wrong with the map? Well, yeah, there is a little issue over here with this intersection. This is kind of like the biggest problem I think I can remember with the map. We might find something a bit later on I've forgotten, but yeah, this is a good looking intersection, yeah? We've got the ramps going down to ground are beautifully done there, and then the street lamps, we managed to avoid the highways. It's a low crossover, and that's perfect positioning of the street lamps as well, so good work there. The down ramps on this side, however, on the left hand side is pretty smooth. The right hand side, it just thumps down to ground with a thump and then stays elevated at ground level. So it just looks to me like somebody forgot to use the ramp tool, the slope tool, sorry, to get that nice and smooth as well. That said, there are intersections in the world which look way worse than that, and it's not hideous, and even the drops down to ground with a thump is not the steepest that we've ever seen. So it's all good. I think it's all good. Just could be a little bit better. Right, we're heading into Start Square territory now. I think we are actually now just about into the Start Square, which is, you can see, not perfectly flat here, but lots of buildable space out on the right to expand into. And then we've got one of these junctions rather than an intersection, and this is going to lead down to our feature area in the Start Square, which I do believe is what the Start Square is all about, this little feature area down here. So we're going to use it for an asset of the day. We've got some nice switchbacks here, and you'll notice we've got some pebbles on the go here. The resource painting on this map is exquisite. The resource mix is so well done. The whole thing comes together really aesthetically very nicely indeed. Start Square, which means we've got an asset. And as it's a Saturday, it's a quirky asset of the week. And there's nothing more quirky at the moment than the Springfield Build by $2.20. This commissioned item is the Krusty Burger by KingLeno, the legend that is KingLeno. Had him on Skylines Talk a couple of years ago, maybe 3. I'm losing track of time. But yes, do check out Skylines Talk if you want to hear when BonBonB met KingLeno. Factoids? Why not? Because factoids. Ethelred the Unready, King of England in the 10th century, was found on his wedding night in bed with his wife and his mother-in-law. Oh, come on, Ethelred. There's no need for that. So maybe she was teaching her daughter what to do. Maybe she was teaching him what to do. Maybe. Because he was unready. Anyway, Krusty Burger, over dozens sold. So funny. So funny. Today's asset of the day. That's the one. I'm still so tempted to use dum bum 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 as the asset sting there. But yeah, I can't risk it. I just can't risk losing the 50p, or maybe if I'm lucky, £1 that I'm going to earn from today's show. Oh, please. Come and watch the show in your drove so I can make a living from this. It's so much fun. I absolutely love doing it. Anyway, highways. We could go back to the highway network. I thought what we do is we just follow this line down to its end. It actually ends in a very buildable area. You can see the colour of the land here is just turning to a slightly more green colour. Again, works brilliantly. So the fertile land in the desert actually works as fertile land. Definitely doable. I'm really quite impressed. Anyway, the highway ends there, loops back on itself, and you could start building there. Nice. The rail will start at the edge of the map, and you can see this lovely slick triangle. I do know what these are called, and I've forgotten what they're called. There is a word for them, but yes, it's kind of a I guess it's a junction, isn't it? But yeah, and the the shape of the junction. There is a word for it. It'll come back to me when it's too late, and then I'll forget by tomorrow, as I always do. And you can see we do have a little bit of foliage on the line along here, which has just slipped through. So a little bit unfortunate. Don't often see this, but occasionally you'll find the map where we got a little bit of foliage. Easy to clear, and you can use the bulldozer tool or move it just to select the. But yeah, it's not a deal breaker for me. We do have a little bit of elevation on the line from about here that is visible with the naked eye. You can just make out the lines there are fairly steep. It's not super steep. It's not beyond believability. And again, on the Cities Skylines map, we can kind of let it go, but it's borderline. It's borderline. Anything much steeper than that, and it become quite jarring on the eye. Anyways, that is the fly through of the networks. We'll come back and check for shipping. Do you reckon there'll be any shipping on today's map? Do you? Do you really?
Are your soggy little Sims constantly getting even more soggy? Are you continuously drowning your trees and soaking your city? Then you need BonBonB's flood management tutorial. Click the information button now.
And so back to Delilah Desert by Eid09. Now there isn't actually a shipping route, but we do have an air route that goes across. So if you want to stick an airport on your map, then you can, because we've got planes. There's one. Water flow. There is strong water flow past the start square. Enough of it, and deep enough, I would say, to be usable if you want to pump and draw from the river. So credit for that as well. It's all good to go. The map as a whole, yeah, it's subtle. It's not the most dramatic of landscapes that we've seen. We have seen prettier desert maps. I think Douglas is guilty of those, I feel. But yeah, here we go. Look at the old pebbles here. That's all resource painting. I think that's from the Aguil Vert theme. I think that's ore. The rocks, look at the rocks. They really match the environment in terms of colour. And just the environmental colours. The mix of themes has been done so well to bring this out. Just hours. I'm guessing maybe an hour or so, maybe two, to get this mix exactly right. That's assuming they even had all the themes to start off with. We've got just this understated areas like this. We got no real trees, just little shrubs and grasses, and it feels right. It feels just right. What more have we got? I would say plenty of buildable space throughout the map. While not being entirely flat, it's all accessible up to and around the hills. And the hills, like I say, we've seen more dramatic hills. They're fine. They're perfunctory and they look realistic. So credit for all of that. But what do you think of the map? Is it a 1-star map? Is it a 5-star map? Is it somewhere in between? Your vote really does count. We use it at the end of the month for the Viewers' Choice Top 10. Will this be one of the top 10 maps of the month? Only you can decide. Click the I button now in the top right hand corner of your screen. It'll take you to the voting page where you can vote for free, using a Facebook, Gmail, or even a free Patreon account. Why not? Okay, what do I think of today's map? Well, aesthetically, it's understated. It's understated. And yet, there's a lot of work's gone into it to get it to be understated. I'm really impressed. I am actually genuinely really impressed. I'm going to go for, it's a strong 4. It's not super high 4, it's a strong 4. Just slightly above middle 4. Detailing, it's really strong. But then we have all of those shrubs on the line which look like a mistake rather than by design. I'm going to give it 4 stars, but only just because there are so many shrubs on the line. So, low 4. Gameplay, very, not super very, but very. I'm going to go, again, a medium low 4. Very playable. It's good. It's definitely good. And I can see maybe a once-through playthrough on this one, but it'll be a very interesting one. Delilah Desert by Eid09. Do you know what? I think we'll give it the BonBonB seal of approval. See what I mean by deceptively boring? It's just a map that is subtle. Very nicely done. Really good desert map. Well done there. Right, so thank you very much for watching, for commenting, for liking and for subscribing, for making it through another week of What's Maps. There'll be another week coming up on Monday. Today's word of the day, for those of you still here for the 20 and out elite, is on the screen now. Use that in the comments. Score yourself some population points, and also to win £1 million from my friend who's a Nigerian prince, and he sent me this email. He wants to share the money with us. Can't believe it.